Was it
So
make
it's
it go live or
Good day,
something?
yeah,
everyone. I'm your host, James Hicks from Hicks New Media. Welcome to Perspectives in Focus, where we highlight the people, industries, ideas, and the technology that are making positive strides within society. Today we got a very special session for a number of reasons. I am very interested in having these gentlemen on. If you're interested in supporting entrepreneurs, if you're interested in supporting our veterans, I suggest you buckle in now, reach out to some like minded folks within your community and tell them to go ahead and tune in right now. Today's guests are Ruben Ayala and Chris McPhee, CEO and CMO, respectively, at Triple Nikel. Triple Nickel is a veteran owned and operated apparel company, but don't get it twisted. They're more than hats, they're more than t shirts. For them, Triple Nickel is a way of life. The founders all served together in our armed forces, and I'll let them tell their individual stories. But the company model for Triple Nickel is "We serve too," which kind of really speaks to their desire to amplify that seldom seen or heard diversity and inclusion amongst our military community. This is gonna be good, y'all. Let's get it in. Let's go.
I said, man,
we was muted, bro. I'm back to hyping you up. We were muted.
hey James, he like we live.
I know that's all right, brother. That's ladies
Hey,
and
man.
gentlemen. Look at to my left. Look to my right. I got two gentlemen who have been working diligently. I would say not just for the past 24 hours, because the last 24 hours has been hectic for sure. But since 2010, when Triple Nickel was birthed, I got Ruben Ayala and Chris McPhee in the building. Gentlemen, how you doing?
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up, James? Thank you for
What's up,
having
man?
us.
Oh man, appreciate you guys for being here. We got folks in the comments. Thank you for coming. Look, the show can officially start. I got Senior in the building, so listen, I'm gonna be on my
Hey,
P's and Q's and make
Dad's
sure
in the
I don't say
building.
nothing yet. But y'all see, I'm wearing this diversity right here. I'm
Yeah.
wearing Triple Nickel.
I love it.
Yeah, this is besides my brand. This is gonna be my brand of choice. So let's go ahead and get into some things, man. I would love to. I did a monologue, I did the intro, but I really find there's value in folks telling their own origin story. Let me start with you, Ruben, because I've had Chris on before, and my audience, my community knows him. But if you can tell folks who you are and your role and what Triple Nickel is, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no doubt. So, what's up to everybody out there? Again, James, I appreciate you having us. It means a lot. And I'll tell you what, man, you're number one. You answer the call when we put the net call out to allow us to tell and share the good news. So we really appreciate that. So for those who don't know who I am, my name is Ruben Ayala, and originally I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm an island boy, just like Chris over there. We're the Caribbean brothers, and my background, just like Chris, come from the Army, and after leaving service, went to school and started my own business and settled here in San Antonio, Texas, which led us to where we are today and starting Triple Nickel in 2020.
Love it, man. Chris, for the new folks, for the folks sitting in the back of the room, let them know who my camera guy is, if you don't mind.
Hello, good afternoon, early evening, everybody. I've been here before. You know me, retired Army veteran, turned project manager and camera guy. So I know you've seen me around, been on the show, and I had an opportunity to go in business with this gentleman here, Ruben Ayala. And for the past 2 years, it's been amazing. So we're glad to be here. And thanks you a lot, James, for having us here today.
Definitely, brother. Let's talk about Triple Nickel, man. Let's talk about the concept, the origin. I never assume, and I hate to assume, right? I think folks in the military, folks who know military history, understand and know what that is and what that means. But let's talk about where the naming came from and how you were able to get that name, for one. So talk a little bit about the origin of the foundation of Triple Nickel, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no doubt. So the story goes all the way back to 1943. And if you look at what we are, we got to take it back to the period of segregation.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time frame in World War II, if you can believe it or not, man, people of color, black people were not allowed to serve in certain units, and airborne being one of them. So if you wanted to jump out of airplanes, you were not able to do so. But in 1943, a small segment of personnel that were at Fort Benning at the time were allowed to go through this test platoon. And those guys eventually became the 555th Parachute Infantry Battalion, and they were known as informally as the Triple Nickels, because of the lineage of Buffalo Soldiers and whatnot. So in 1947, they were deactivated and absolved into the 82nd Airborne Division with the advent of integration within the military. Fast forward when we all joined the Army, Chris, Rod Graham, Cortez Riggs, and myself, we all go into the 82nd Airborne Division. And if you're a person of color, especially during that time in the 80s and the 90s, early 2000s, there's a lot of respect, loyalty, and homage that's paid to those guys who came before us. So when it came time to name the company, we knew we wanted a story, and the common ground between all of us was the 82nd, and it just seemed like Triple Nickel. Not only is it a cool name, but it has that cool story that we can always fall back on, just to tell people, hey, these are our forefathers. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have this dope story that we have
Yeah.
here today to lean on. Anything you want to add to that, Chris?
No, that's in a nutshell, man. That's it, man. That's where we come from. That's why this is so cool, and we're proud to represent the name. And I'm a segue down the alley about the name, and we get a lot of feedback from the public. It's like, you guys can't spell. So I'm gonna take this story from my co-founder Rod Graham. He has a good relationship with the Triple Nickel Association, and also Ruben. And when we approached them about the concept and what we wanted to name the company, that was their suggestion. Hey, spell it Nikel versus the way we spell it, so there's no confusion. These guys are looking at SEO and trademarking, and so that was the recommendation. So if you did not know, that is why it's spelled Nikel. Just a little backstory for people here.
Look, you got some insight coming from the chief marketing officer right there, man. Go ahead. We appreciate you for dropping that down on us, man. Let's talk about this, right? You really came to fruition during the early stages of when the world stopped, right? Not just Texas, not just California, not just the United States, but when the world stopped. So the height of the pandemic. Talk to us a little. We're going to get into all this good stuff for sure, but I want to talk a little bit, since I've got you, Ruben, here as well, about the challenges, right, of building a brand, building a company, building an organization, and pushing out during that time when it's so hard to get out, meet people, have conversations, and talk about your company. Talk about the time you were building Triple Nickel during the pandemic.
Yeah, so I'll kick this one off because this is personal for me. In July of 2020, it's a true story. I took a road trip, and I had my business before this, and my business basically came to a standstill in March of 2020 after everything shut down with the pandemic. So it just gave us all a lot of time to just sit down and think and see what was going on. And when the idea formulated to start something to address the issues that we were seeing within our country, the division, the hate, we wanted to do something to unify. I just hit the road. I was my now wife. I was dating. Went to go to Virginia to visit her parents, meet her family. I put the kids in the car and we took a trip. But along the way, I stopped along to visit some buddies of mine to pitch the idea and just to gauge interest. And that is really where the seeds were planted for it. That's how Chris and I got connected. That is how I was able to talk to Rod about the idea. And from there, from July of 2020 to November of 2020, we put together a company and formulated the idea of what you see today. So really within, I would say, less than 90 days, we put together Triple Nikel and got all the designs, the initial designs together, the thought process about it, the business plan, and put it out there. You want to add anything to that, Chris?
Just, I would like to add to some of the pieces I know he left out, giving you guys the Reader's Digest version. But, one thing I thought is unique about our group is here we have 4 gentlemen that have never worked together before. So put that in the back of your head. And even though we all come from some of the same pedigree, being in the military and where we traveled until we reached a point where we're all working together, I found it very fascinating how we were able to work as a team. Ruben, as he mentioned, had this vision for Triple Nikel. So he pretty much pitched it. It was basically all planned out at a high level, and all we had to do was just come in and start executing. And that's how we were able to, 4 guys never worked together, in 90 days go from idea to market. And so I just want to put that out there that's not common.
Yeah.
It takes seasoned individuals to do that. Ruben was in business already, and I met him a couple of times before we really jumped on board with this. Just getting to know him, and then Rod is also him and Rod worked together for some time in 7th Group, deployed in the military, and with Cortez Riggs, our 4th member. I knew him through the network with, military influencer and being in DC. But here's another gentleman who's already has built something and has some business sense, and myself doing what I did in government contracting and then also in photo and video. So I just want everybody to know that we're not just some dudes who just was like, yo, we're going to start a t-shirt company. Like, we already were established, and this was like, we're attacking this head on, and we're full of charge, and that's what it was. And to Ruben, and like we say, I'm gonna give him his roses right now. I tell him this all the time. I'm gonna give his roses right now. The guy had a vision. He pitched it. We bought into it, and that is the key for any organization, is that when you're looking to be a part of an organization and the leader comes to you and is like, hey, join me, you should ask them, what's your vision? And if they can't explain that to you, don't follow them. And I'm going to just leave it at that.
I love it. And I appreciate both of you for going kind of behind the scenes on that piece, right? Because that matters, just for the fact that it's not just your synergy and it's not just the training that you had in the military, but again, you're already businessmen. You already know how to command not just a battlefield, but command a conference room as well, and handle different personalities. But look, it's been an interesting few years, and let's talk about where we are right now. Let's talk about these last 24, 36 hours. We got Triple Nikel in brick and mortar. I'm not just buying off the web anymore, right? I mean, shouts out to the web. The website is nice. Love the website right there. But you see this top line right here, ladies and gentlemen? Available in Kohl's as of yesterday. Somebody talk about this collaboration and this partnership, and let me give some congratulations to that. Talk about how Triple Nikel is now in Kohl's nationwide starting as of yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, don't be nervous now. Come on now.
It just sounds weird,
Let that seek in for a little bit, right? Let that go ahead and digest that.
It's as much work as we put in to make this happen. It's still is real weird because you're still going about your everyday business, but not knowing who you're touching. We are in 600 stores nationwide, plus their online platform. They have millions of followers on social media. They do, over $1 billion in sales annually. And out of everybody that they could have reached out to, they chose us. So when you sit down, you slow down. Chris went to the Kohl's in Temple, Texas yesterday. He FaceTimed me, and we were able to look at our display in the store, and it's surreal, man. You look at all those designs on there. We made those. We didn't have a graphic designer that we paid to do that. We did that. These are things that are in the shelves in a store, and I still can't believe it. We were at Kohl's on Sunday filming a video, and we almost got kicked out.
Like, who are y'all? What y'all getting here with cameras?
Security came out, man. That's a true story, and they're like, "What y'all doing filming here?" We're like, "We in Kohl's." We swear to God.
I know y'all standing in Kohl's, but what you doing with them cameras?
Yeah. Chris had to pull out the app and show them that we in the store, and they still were skeptical, man. So that's hard for me to answer. Last 24, 36 hours been surreal. It's tough for me to comprehend right now. What about you, Chris?
Blessing though, man. Keep going.
No, I would go along with that, man. I'm still processing because really the last 24, 36 hours, that's cool. But, when we go back to like July, that's what we're really thinking about. Like, the hours spent and those images right there for me, just from my point of view, what I contribute to the Four Corners is those images were shot by me in our warehouse in San Antonio.
Let's talk a little bit about that too, right? Because that's amazing. So I put up the Air Force One because my dad's Air Force. So shouts out to the air power right there. I'm respectful right there. The models that you use. Actually, let's talk. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm gonna let you talk about it, right? Real people.
Tell him, Ruben.
Come on,
Ruben.
Yeah.
Ruben.
Hey, man, that's my wife right there, actually.
That's why I brought this one up, bro. Come on. I've been doing this for a minute, man. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, man. All the models we got. So that's my wife, and then below that one, the young man that's Cortez's son. We chose all our network and our people. I was talking to my boys the other day, and my frame of mind is, we're putting San Antonio on our back, and we're taking that's what Triple Nikel is about. Is we take our community and we're uplifting it. We could have paid models. Kohl's gave us the option to use their models for everything.
Wow.
We didn't have to do what we did, but we wanted to do everything organically. We didn't outsource any of the work. We didn't outsource any of the packing. We did everything. And all those boxes that went out, that was us. That's a Keebler Elves up in here, man.
I love it. You still in the shop right now, right?
Yeah. So so what Chris said is spot on. We're just processing it. The real work was happening in July and August as we were fulfilling. This was almost 30,000 units that we shipped out nationwide. Wow. That's 1,013 boxes, if you can imagine that. Chris and I floor loaded onto the back of a 53-foot semi truck.
Amazing.
Top to bottom, not even exaggerating. And you see how tall Chris is?
Yeah, well,
Chris is like 4 foot 5.
I wouldn't use the word tall, but I would just say, okay, I'm gonna leave that alone.
He's like, you see how tall?
We had to get a ladder so Chris can put the boxes on the very top. Like, it was.
I'm gonna need that footage. That's gonna be in the blooper reel. I'm gonna need that footage right there because that right there be some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So when people say "made in the USA," we're not those guys that want to tout that. Uh, the proof is in the pudding, man. We're the ones doing the work and pushing everything out. So you don't get more made in the USA than that.
I love that. I love. Congratulations on everything up to this point. Right, it's only the beginning. So I know that right there. There are a lot of stories here. Right, there's a lot of tradition here. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of blood, sweat, tears. But there's a particular story, and Chris and I were talking about this. The story within the story. So I'm gonna bring up this cash collection. I want someone to talk about the All in Cash collection and why this matters to Triple Nickel, why this should matter to folks before they go even buy the shirt, right? Understand what's going on behind the scenes, what's going on with the proceeds, why this man legacy, why he's got his own shirt that says hero on it from Triple Nickel matters to not just military families, but to everyone across the globe. If so, either Chris or Ruben, if you don't mind going over that, and I'll bring up some scenes as well.
Go for it, Ruben.
Sure. Okay. All right. So, in a nutshell, our new slogan, by the way, we started off with we serve two, but as we started formulating the company, we realized, you know what? We've served at the pinnacle of all of these cool units that you see on TV. We did it, and we didn't want to make it seem like we wanted inclusion because we've been there. What we need to do is inspire. So we changed our slogan, and it's be the trendsetter. And because we lead from the front, we're going to be those guys, and we want to inspire you. So bringing it full circle as to why All Win Cash matters is you have a guy, a soldier, a leader. I'm not even going to bring race into it. That's self-explanatory. Who went above and beyond, who obviously deserved the Medal of Honor back in 2005 after his actions in October of 2005. And he didn't receive it. You know, he saved the lives of 7 people, including an Iraqi interpreter in Iraq, pulling them from a burning vehicle after a mechanical ambush. And for those who don't know what a mechanical ambush is, you know, they hit an IED and there was follow-on small arms fire. If you're on fire yourself and you're going back into a burning vehicle to pull people out of it in harm's way, how is that not Medal of Honor action? And he finally received it. His family received it posthumously in February of this year. And I give a lot of props to Cortez on this. I can't take any credit, actually. Cortez, with his Military Influencer magazine, had been in contact with his sister, who is basically the head of the family trust, to do a story on her. And when he told me about that, I approached him about the idea of doing some type of collaboration with the Cash family to help them raise funds for, you know, a foundation, because I know they wanted to start a foundation. So these talks with the family started last year. And once we got the Kohl's collaboration deal earlier this year, we knew that we wanted to put the Cash shirt out front. Yeah. Because we are fulfilling what our promise is to inspire. People need to know his story, because the truth of the matter is, if you are a posthumous Medal of Honor awardee, you're going to be a flash of the pan. You're going to be hot for 15 minutes, your legacy. And after that, you're going to get forgotten. Kids these days are not going to know who All In Cash is. And to me, that's a shame. Yeah. So we knew that we needed to put him forefront in what we were doing. We needed to make the design the best design out of the entire collection. And his design had to get its own story. So if you get that shirt, you're getting a hang tag with the entire story on it, and it's getting a special treatment. So we brokered we not brokered. We came to an agreement with the family to use his likeness, and proceeds from the shirt are going to help the family start the foundation. And for us, that's what Triple Nickel is all about. We are amplifying the legacies of those stories seldom told, in order to, in hopes of, to inspire the next generation or those already serving.
Wow.
So that's the story, and that's the importance of the All in Cash collection.
Love that, man. And listen, folks, again, there's method and there's reason behind, there's purpose for the shirt. Again, it's not just another dope shirt. That's why I said in the beginning, right? Triple Nickel is not just a shirt and hat company. These guys here have mission, have purpose, and have calculated design for what they do. So go get that shirt. Go get this shirt. Go get that hat. Whatever it is that you do, but understand that there is reasoning behind all of this gear, and it touches someone. They're using real models. They're telling real stories. The Alwyn Cash family and his foundation. Hopefully, the proceeds from the sale of this shirt go to that, and they're able to continue on talking about the legacy. I was reading some stories that his children are doing some phenomenal things as well. So the name is continuing to live on, at least directly within the family. But what Triple Nickel is doing as well to keep that story alive is a fantastic thing. Because just like you said, the attention span of today's generation can be pretty short, and we want to elongate that, and we want to start telling more of these positive, good stories about folks as well. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Oh, and so the viewers can see. So President Joe Biden, he's given the Medal of Honor to his widow, and below that picture, you see General Milley on the far right, and then you see Secretary of Defense Austin on the far left. His widow, Alwyn Cash's widow, to his left, and then his sister, Ms. Casanel White, is next to General Milley. She is the one who we've worked with to make this happen, and she is the one who has given us the ultimate blessing to move forward with what we're doing. So I'm very thankful to her.
Amazing. Now, I'm going to Kohl's today. Yeah, and I'm gonna take my phone. I'm gonna see if I get pulled over by security in the store, because I'm gonna see. I'm gonna come out of there with a handful of stuff. I dare ask what's next, though, right? Because it's still so early on in this partnership and in this process that you probably, again, still digesting it. And like Ruben, you got paint on your hands right now because you're in the shop printing shirts and things of that. But I'm going to ask it anyway. What's next, right? So you've gotten to this mountaintop and you're looking over it. I'm sure you want to keep moving up. You want to keep evolving. You want to keep putting out quality merchandise, gear, equipment, things. What's going to happen here Q4 2022?
So you want to take this, Chris, or what? I see your gerbils turning.
No, I'll take this one for a little bit, and you could I'll be the number one man on this one. You could back me up. So what's next? I think, well, what's going to happen next as we get through this, actually the hard part has just started, is promoting it and letting people know it's there. Right. And that's what we're doing. That's what's really next. And we haven't really looked up to look for over there. We're not at that peak yet. But when we get there, we've learned a lot of lessons from going through this process. And so the first thing we're going to do is recalibrate, take a knee, drink some water, look where we came from and where we're at right now and where we want to go. And so there's some things we have on our radar to start up for 2023. One piece that you see there on our website, there's an art piece there with Triple Nickel. It's an art mural there with that's on our site, and so we're looking at exploring some some things in arts and doing more of these projects within the community to highlight these events that are not being expressed through apparel, through film or what have you. And so those are the things, the projects that we're looking for. The obvious is like, hey, let's do this again. That's the obvious, that's the obvious one. Let's do this again. How soon can we do this again? So to all you big brands out there, this is the net call. You want to work with Triple Nikel, just give us a call. TripleNikel.com. No, but that's the obvious one is what's next, and we're looking forward to grow like each company would like to after an event like this, move into other department stores, get into some of the PXs and BXs are worldwide. That's one of our next targets there. Just continue to get involved with the veteran and the military community, more so like getting the message out to the active duty soldiers, because when we say veteran, we're always focusing on the folks that are out of service, right? We're focusing on the families that's out of service. So if we really want this thing to grow and live for a long time, I think that's the next move is how do we connect with the active duty service member, that's looking for a story like this or seeing what we saw when we were on active duty and is having a Triple Nickel experience or the Tuskegee Airmen experience or something in the Marines or whatever service they're in. They're having the same experience. So where do they go? They come to Triple Nickel.
Period.
Right?
Period. No question. So, I like
so
that.
So that would be, I think, at a high level, without throwing all our marbles out there. That's what we're looking at doing next. You want to add something to that, Ruben?
Yeah, I'll be brief. We are very heavily influenced by music, especially hip hop. So if you look at what we've done, this is our first album, and the way we've come out with our first album, you can say we've hit gold, maybe even platinum. Because I'm gonna say we've gone platinum right now, and because this is the largest retail department store in the country. So for an artist to come out and make a splash this big, there's always that anticipation of what's going to be your follow-up. And just like Chris said, right now, what we got to do is we got to take this show on the road, and we need to build that audience and build our following and build that fan base. And how that translates to business is we need to continue to shape our story. So people, now that we have the All in Cash collection out there by the thousands, we need to amplify that story. We need to amplify our story. So I think that's what we're going to focus on here moving forward, and see if we can come out with a second album that's just as good.
I love it, man. Double platinum. And I even love the fact, so this is live, but just the fact that we hear the sounds behind you, Ruben, right in the shop, someone down there on the press, just making more shirts and pushing out more hats. That's what's up. That's what's up, folks. Listen, I'm gonna make sure that folks get I'm gonna share this out to multiple communities, multiple networks. I know we've got some service, active duty and retired listening and watching right now as well. So I know that they're going to share it out with their communities, but and all of the links as well. I'm gonna make sure that folks know TripleNikel.com, the link on Kohl's as well, so they can get that. But man, I'm just gonna say in closing, appreciate you guys for what you did. Just from a service perspective, we obviously want to say thank you for the service to the country, but for what you did afterwards as well, of banding together and deciding that, listen, we got some things that we can do, and we can do something together, and we can be positive. We can be a good influence on not just our street here in Texas, but we can actually mess around and end up putting our gear in stores across this nation, right? With positive messages of Hero, of United, of Air Force, all of that. So appreciate you for that, and just keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop. I see Mr. Steve Worthy in here. He was talking about Chris's height. I'm not gonna put that comment on there. You know, so he said
What's
stop
up,
talking about
Steve?
Chris's
When I
height.
see you,
But you know,
when
he
I
said
see
he's
you,
tall in spirit.
you know where I'm
I
at.
just
You
saw
come
that.
find
That
me.
was funny.
Yeah, you
That
know,
was
I
funny.
wasn't gonna put that on there, but I'd be remiss if I didn't put the little
Stop
heckling
talking.
there for the background.
I love you, Steve. I love you, man. I love you.
All right, brother. Hey, so Ruben closed out with his great outro. Mr. McPhee, you got anything you want to say from a marketing perspective as well before we close these doors and I go head over to the Coles to see if I can find. I'm gonna need another diversity shirt, so because I can't wash very well, so I need 2 of each. So I'm gonna go get me another one.
I love it. Hey, the only thing I can leave everybody with is if you haven't already followed us on social media, you can find us everywhere at triple_nickel, NIKEL. Check out the new website, triplenikel.com, NIKEL. And please, please go to Kohl's, type in Triple Nickel on the search bar because, we're not going to be in the front page. And get you something your size. That's the best way you can help us out right now.
Awesome. Y'all be good. Now, appreciate you. Y'all take care. Continue to evolve. Continue to do what it is that you do because we greatly appreciate it. We out, y'all.